Hey guys, it's Fox Does Magic, and today we're going to be going over the 5 cards I'm most excited about going into the new season of Penny Dreadful Season 27. I picked out 5 cards for you, some that I think are cool, some that I think are fun. The last 3 are cards that I think will have a major impact this season, so stick around. Starting off at the bottom of our list, we have 2 cards that haven't been gone from the format for too long, but are still fun. Both Shardless Agent and Bloodbraid Elf are back, both being last legal in Season 25. And while in the previous times they haven't had too much of an explosive impact on the format, both of these are solid contenders for a deck built around the Cascade mechanic. Of course, with Cascade's reputation, your mind is probably going straight to the no mana cost suspend cards. You're right on the money. The last deck to do well with both of these guys was Teamer Jokulha, back when both of these were last in rotation in Season 25. Does a decent job of taking down 5-0s in leagues, and because the deck is quite fun to play, and most of the cards in the previous versions are available right now in the format as well. Shardless Agent and Bloodbraid Elf definitely might be popping up in some 5-0s on leagues this season. This rotation, graveyard decks are sure to be a major threat because of a certain few cards making their way into the format, and this one is no exception. Bridge from Below rises from a 3-season hiatus and makes its way back into our graveyards for Season 27. In the past, Bridge has been quite underwhelming, only having mild success as far back as last year, but with this rotation, graveyard strategies are going to be heavily favored due to a lack of meaningful hate and interaction. In Penny Dreadful, Bridge is somewhat janky, but could fit into some other shells nicely, especially including some other cards later on in our list. The Bridge isn't poised to be as explosive as it has been in other formats, but a favorable meta might let it eke in a few wins. Mainly included this card because I'm a big Bridge from Below fan. Maybe there's a way to work it in with a Dread Return / Dredge build, with Golgari Grave Troll back in the mix in the format. And while Dredge, again, isn't really that powerful of a archetype in Penny Dreadful typically, it could be a fun deck to build and play. These next 3 cards, I am sure, are going to have a large impact on the format as a whole, and you will be seeing them in plenty of decks this season. At number 3, a modern mainstay appears. We have an extremely powerful Planeswalker that is making his way to the format for the very first time. It's Ugen the Spirit Dragon. Ugen, the Tron staple originating from Fate Reforged, enters PD thanks to the low price of his promo card. While the Tron lands are not legal this season, their more broken cousin is. Ugen fits perfectly into pretty much any Cloud Post build. And the best part is, a lot of Cloud Post staples are still in the format. Most Cloud Post builds focused around Mindslaver, and fortunately, running Ugen alongside Mindslaver gives the deck another win con or control piece, as Ugen is a very versatile Planeswalker card. Ugen's +2 is great for mid-range damage. It might even be a finisher in some cases if you're playing against a slower deck or a deck that has no way to handle Planeswalkers. His -X is great against graveyard decks, as it allows you to exile and remove creatures without having them go back to the graveyard to be reanimated. And his -10 just wins the game flat out, especially in a Cloud Post deck where even putting lands on the battlefield will have an impact. Ugen is going to be incredible this season, and I'm sure we will be seeing plenty of him and probably get sick of him by the end of the season. Coming up at number 2, we have a card that's played in top tier decks in every format that it's legal in, Monastery Swiftspear. Monastery Swiftspear is a classic mono-red creature. A 1/2 body with haste and prowess makes for a nasty value creature. While this monk has only been legal one time in PD's life, it is sure to make a splash this season. Monastery Swiftspear making its way back into Penny Dreadful is great news for burn players and prowess players alike. This rotation features quite a few mono-red staples rotating back into the format, including Anax of the Forge and Viashino Pyromancer. And for prowess fans, Kiln Fiend is also back. It's safe to say that we will be seeing Monastery Swiftspear in quite a few different decks this rotation, and knocking down tournaments as it always has.
Rise from your grave.
Rising from the depths of seasons past, we're digging up 2 graves with Animate Dead and Reanimate. These 2 cards will make a major splash this season, and early league results are already looking very promising. As I mentioned earlier, graveyard strategies are heavily favored this season, as all of the best graveyard hate has rotated out to a Necromancer's delight. Season 27 also has no shortage of ways to get creatures into the yard, with Putrid Imp and Raven's Crime both being absolute staples in any decks featuring these 2 cards. Hey, ever wanted to reanimate a Spire of Insanity on turn 1? Well, with Dark Ritual, either of these spells in Putrid Imp or Raven's Crime, you can! While Sire of Insanity is one of the best and most evil things you could do with this deck, it is far from the only option. Backing up your sire, Pathraiser of Ulamog and Villas Broker of Blood are both excellent targets. With the Reanimator strategy this consistent and fast-paced,
hopefully 'tis you rising from the grave and not the one to be buried in it.
Hey, thanks for watching this top 5. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to subscribe to my channel and help support the creation of more Penny Dreadful and budget magic content. Have a great day, and I hope you win your next game.